When you hear the word talent, what comes to your mind? A CEO in a skyscraper or a scientist in a lab? What if I told you that some of the most impactful talents today wear rubber boots, carry hoes, and call a village home? In 2011, Lu Man, a young Chinese woman in her 20s, quit her stable job in a state-owned company in the city and went to the countryside to raise turkeys. Her friends and relatives thought she was crazy. Now, her cooperative sells 100 million yuan worth of turkey products annually, and she's training farmers across China to do the same. Rural talent revitalization isn't just about helping the countryside. It's about recognizing that the countryside itself breeds and attracts the talents it needs. In this session, I'll first explain what talent revitalization in China's rural areas means. We'll then look at some examples of talent revitalization and examine what we can learn from these cases. Rural talent revitalization is an integral part of China's rural revitalization strategy, which is a comprehensive national plan to transform rural areas through 5 key revitalizations: industry, ecology, culture, talent, and governance, with the ultimate goal of achieving prosperous lives for residents. Talent revitalization focuses on attracting, cultivating, and retaining talented individuals in rural areas to drive development in all these aspects. It's about ensuring that rural areas have access to the human capital they need to thrive, whether it's in the fields of agriculture, technology, education, or culture. Talented people can bring new ideas, new technologies, and new business models to rural areas. They can help traditional agriculture transform into a more modern, efficient, and profitable industry. They can also contribute to improving rural living environments, promoting rural culture, and enhancing rural governance. In short, talent revitalization is the engine that drives the overall rural revitalization. China has been highly committed to rural development, and talent revitalization lies at the core of this effort. The #1 central document released each year, which sets the tone for the country's agricultural and rural policies, has continuously emphasized the importance of talents in rural revitalization. For instance, the 2025 #1 central document not only calls for enhanced efforts in rural revitalization, but also specifically mentions the need to optimize the rural resources allocation system, which is closely related to talent management. It encourages the implementation of the talent support plan for rural revitalization, the strengthening of technical and skills training for farmers, and the increase of various professional talents and practical talents in rural areas. Now let's look at some real-world examples of talent revitalization in rural China. Our first example is the young woman we mentioned at the beginning. Lu Man started her business adventure with her boyfriend, Liao Zhengjun, who found that turkey was in high demand in Shanghai, but there were few farmers dedicated to raising the poultry. Even though they were full of passion and determination, the young couple encountered many difficulties at the beginning. The biggest difficulty was the lack of money. In order to save costs, they did everything on their own. During the hardest time, they didn't even have 10 yuan in their pockets. People around didn't understand her decision, saying that she was wasting what she had learned in college to live a hard life in the village. But Lu had an eye for the huge potential of the rural market. She learned everything she could about turkey farming, from breeding to marketing. In 2012, Lu was granted entrepreneurial loans under the support of the local government, which eased their financial burdens. The turkey business was growing. As their business grew, Lu didn't just think about her own success. She wanted to bring the whole village along. She started to explore new ways of selling their products. Then she discovered the power of the internet. She began live streaming the turkey raising process and promoting their products online. The effect was astonishing. The annual per capita income of local farming households rose from 12,000 yuan to 26,000 yuan. In 2014, Chenjia village, where she lived, was recognized as one of the first e-commerce model villages in Jiangsu province. Lu seized this opportunity and helped local farmers transition from traditional offline sales to online platforms. She established a cooperative with an area of 66.67 hectares, which now provides jobs for over 100 people. The cooperative produces nearly 1/3 of the supply of turkey eggs in China, and its sales have reached 100 million yuan. What's more, Lu's influence extended beyond her village. In 2020, she learned about Granny Li, an elderly farmer in a poor county in Hunan province, who couldn't sell her harvested pumpkin. Lu immediately went to Hunan and through live streaming and online marketing sold 40,000 kilos of the fruit in just 4 days. She then realized that there were over 1 million tons of unsold pumpkin in that county, mainly because of the lack of young people and marketing knowledge among the elderly left behind villages. This experience inspired her to submit a proposal to the National People's Congress in 2023, advocating for promoting e-commerce in rural areas to help with the rural revitalization drive. Lu's story is not just about individual success. It's a story of how one person's talent, when combined with the right opportunity, can transform an entire rural community. Another inspiring case comes from Yuexi County in East China's Anhui province. In July 2021, the county launched a campaign to recruit 100 talents with doctorate degrees to assist 100 villages for 1 year. Li Xingguo, a 58-year-old senior geological engineer with a doctorate degree from Tianjin, signed up immediately. He was appointed as the honorary head of Henan village, which is about 40 kilometers from downtown Yuexi. The village is surrounded by mountains and has an excellent environment and abundant water resources. Shortly after his arrival in the village, Li started to help locals identify business potential. He saw the potential for developing a mineral water plant in the village. He took a bottle of sample water from a well in the village back to Tianjin for a lab test. The test showed that the water contains the element of strontium, which provided a scientific reference for further investment. Thanks to his promotion, a businessman from Beijing came to the village in September to assess its tourism prospects and reached a preliminary cooperation intention with the village. Li worked in the village for 15 days in the first month, much longer than the 3-day minimum requirement per month regulated in the contract. I never imagined that someone with a doctorate degree would come to our village. We hope Dr. Li can take advantage of his profound knowledge, advanced concepts, and personal connections to support the development of our village, said Jiang Changping, party chief of Henan village. Li Xingguo's story is a great example of how external talents, with their professional knowledge and connections, can identify and unlock the development potential of rural areas. So what can we learn from these cases? First, in both cases, the talents involved had a deep understanding of the local context. Lu Man and her husband knew the agricultural products and the people in their village well, which allowed them to find solutions that fit the local situation. Li Xingguo, although an outsider to the village, took the time to familiarize himself with the geographical and natural resources of Henan village, which enabled him to make informed suggestions for the development. This shows that for talent revitalization to succeed, there must be a connection between the talents and the local community. Second, both Lu and Li were able to leverage their unique skills. Lu quickly adapted to the digital age and used e-commerce and live streaming for marketing. Li, with his geological expertise, was able to provide scientific data to support potential investment in the village. This highlights the importance of having a diverse range of talents with different skill sets in rural areas. Third, in both cases, there was an element of perseverance. Lu faced many difficulties in starting her turkey farming business and promoting e-commerce in the village. Li also needed to overcome the challenges of integrating into a new rural community and convincing local people and external investors of the village's potential. Perseverance is crucial for talents to make a real difference in rural revitalization. Last but not least, the support from the government and relevant institutions played an important role. In Lu's case, the designation of her village as an e-commerce model village provided her with a platform and resources. In Li's case, the talent recruitment campaign launched by Yuexi County was the starting point for his contribution to the village. This indicates that a favorable policy environment is essential for attracting and retaining talents in rural areas. In fact, the policy environment in China plays a crucial role in facilitating talent revitalization. The government has been implementing various policies to attract talents to rural areas. For example, some local governments offer preferential policies such as housing subsidies, startup funds, and tax incentives to those who start businesses in rural areas. In addition, the Returning Home Entrepreneurship campaign has been actively promoted. Local governments encourage rural origin college students, migrant workers who have gained skills and experience in cities, and veterans to return to their hometowns to start businesses. They provide training programs, business incubation services, and loan guarantees to support these returnees. This has not only expanded the talent pool in rural areas, but also brought back much needed capital and market information. Moreover, in terms of talent cultivation, vocational education in rural areas has been strengthened. The government has increased investment in rural vocational schools and training centers. These institutions offer a wide range of courses, from modern agricultural techniques like precision farming and greenhouse management to emergent fields such as rural e-commerce and rural tourism planning. By providing practical and relevant training, local farmers and rural residents can enhance their skills and become valuable human resources for rural development. The Science and Technology Courtyard is another way of empowering the countryside with talents. It's like a small practical tech hub set up in rural areas. It's usually run by universities, research institutions, or agricultural experts who move right into villages to work side by side with farmers. Think of it as a farm office where experts live locally, listen to farmers' problems, and use science to solve them. No complex jargon, just hands-on help. The Science and Technology Courtyards draw university students, researchers, and young professionals to work in villages. These people bring new ideas and skills, and many choose to stay on because they see the impact of their work. By running regular training sessions, they help farmers, village leaders, and local youth become rural experts themselves. For example, a farmer might learn to manage a small organic farm, or a young person might master rural e-commerce, creating jobs in their own villages. Over time, these courtyards create a mindset in villages that learning new things is possible and useful. This encourages more people to stay in rural areas, develop their skills, and contribute to their community's growth. In this session, I have explained what China's rural talent revitalization means, exemplified with a couple of cases, and analyzed them to see what we can learn from these cases. Imagine this. 10 years from now, you visit Chenjia village in Jiangsu province. The turkey cooperatives are still there, but they are run by a new generation. Farmers who once watched Lu Man's live streams as kids and are inventing their own smart feeding systems. In Anhui province, Henan village's mineral water plant is thriving, and Dr. Li's strontium-rich water is bottled with labels designed by a local art student he mentored. In Hunan province, Granny Li's granddaughter isn't just selling pumpkin online, she's training 500 villagers in digital marketing. This isn't a fantasy. It's the future rural China is building. Talent revitalization isn't just about bringing people to villages. It's about planting seeds. A live stream tutorial, a geological report, a shared dream of what a village can be. Those seeds grow into something bigger than any one person. They grow into communities where young people stay not because they have to, but because they want to.